Hello again, I'm Albert Cuadrante. For this edition of Faith Streams, we reflect on the story of the Samaritan woman at the well. This story narrates the intimate one-on-one encounter of a Samaritan woman with Jesus at Jacob's well, and how, after her conversation with him, is converted and becomes an instrument of conversion for others to find Jesus and make him a part of their lives too. When I was reading this story, I couldn't help but see the similarities of our own intimate and personal encounter with Jesus when we go to meet him in the sacrament of reconciliation or confession. When we go to confession, we are also asking Jesus to give us the living water to relieve us from the thirst and dryness caused by our sins. Jesus also invites us to have an open and honest conversation with him about what we want to correct in our lives. Even if he knows us intimately and better than we know ourselves, he wants to hear us humbly recognize our own imperfections. In the long form of this gospel, the Samaritan woman was surprised to know that Jesus knew she had 5 husbands and that the man that she was living with was not her husband. Yet Jesus did not condemn her. Instead, Jesus ministered to her and, safe to assume, forgave her. This opened her eyes to realize who it is she was talking to and resulted in her conversion and acceptance of Jesus as the Messiah. She was so filled with joy, she hurriedly left, even leaving behind the jar she brought with her to draw water from the well, just to tell others about Jesus. I like this detail of her leaving behind her water jar. For me, it symbolized that she was no longer thirsty, and that having been quenched with the living water, she herself has become a vessel to share Jesus with others. And that's how the story ends, with her bringing more people to believe and have their own encounter with the Lord. Doesn't this remind you of how we feel after we've made a good confession? We feel refreshed, renewed. Our humility and honesty are rewarded with the joy that comes from not being condemned, but accepted and forgiven. We are reconnected with Jesus and are once again more able to become carriers of the good news to everyone we encounter, and be ourselves instruments of bringing them closer to the Lord. During this season of Lent, let us take this opportunity to have a refreshing and intimate encounter with the Lord in the sacrament of reconciliation. And let us also invite and encourage our family members and friends to do the same.